So I'd love to introduce Michael Sherlock. Michael and Marie Sherlock.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Is everybody still awake? If not, I'm going to make sure you stay awake for a little bit. So thank you. It's so very fun to be here. And as I was telling other people today, I speak a lot at conferences, but often I am coming in, speaking, and flying right back out again. I very rarely get the chance to sit in a room like this. This has been quite a joy. I have learned so much, and I have felt like I have shared so much in all of your stories. So what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about what I do in my business platform, and we're going to take this a little bit off of some of the things that you hit on. Just fabulous. You just like set it up for me, knocked it out of the park, and then I went, I hope I can catch it after that. But my business platform is called Shock Your Potential. And I'm going to talk about all those ideas that you wrote down, that Crystal had you write down, the things you want to do, the things you want to accomplish, the next level. Maybe it's something that you already started. I know a lot of you in here are entrepreneurs. How many of you are entrepreneurs? I have quite a few. How many of you have goals with that, or your career, or just family? You have something that you want to achieve that you are maybe working on right now, or in process, or you're going to go after it. Who has something that they really want to reach their potential with? All right, good. I think we got almost everybody. Good. If you don't fall for that one, you can go out and have coffee and then come back. But that's what I'm going to talk about, is how do we take those dreams, or where we are or where we want to go, and how do we make them a reality so that you reach your own potential. So in my fabulous slide set, we're going to go, they're very, very hard. I worked on them for hours and hours and hours. So, oh, there's me. You see, I like crazy color hair, as you see. You'll have to find different ways to reach me. But if you want to flip to the next one, I want you to keep in mind, what is your potential? And what do you want that to be? What do you want that to look like? If you're already reaching great heights, what's the next level of greatness? If you haven't reached the level of greatness that you want, how badly do you want it? And if you want it, we're going to talk about some steps to get there. So first of all, we did a little bit of this to be very clear about what it is you want. If you have a business, I was trying to put the words entrepreneur and mom together, but I couldn't make it work. So mompreneur, there you go. I knew it had to exist out there somewhere. But when you are clear about what you want, and is it, I want to increase my customer base, I want to start a business, I want to write a book, I want to be an Instagram sensation. And by the way, I have Insta envy. I have like 300 Instagram followers, but I have a lot more on other platforms. So if you all want to help me out, you could all make sure to connect with me. I might have 5 more people then. I really, really want that. But regardless what your goal is, you have to take proactive steps. It's not enough, and we've heard this in so many versions today, it's not enough just to want it if you don't do it, if you don't go and get it. And yet there's times in our lives, maybe 3,500 times a day, where you think, oh, but I can't get, but this, but there's that. I do it myself. Then I talk to myself, and I tell myself, quit having your conversations that are negative, and then my other self talks back, and then it's just crazy. But once you have the vision, you know what you want. Let's talk about how to go and get it. You want to flip forward to?
Yep.
There we go. Oh, and then you can be very colorful. I don't know why I put that one extra in there, so I need to go one more. Okay, so I broke it down into very simple 8 steps. You're going to need to have all your pens working. There's going to be lots of note taking. There's going to be slides filled with data, lots and lots of words. 8 steps here. Step number 1, identify. Identify what your goal is. Many of you did this right earlier with Crystal, and that's writing down, what is it that I want? What is it that I want this to look like? What is my potential? How does it look? How does it feel? What does that feel? What does that look like for me? Now, again, my slides are very detailed. They're very filled with lots of data. It's very strenuous. It took me hours and hours of time thinking about this to put it on slides in this format. But what I did is I took the word shock, and I said, if I'm really going to shock my potential, And the reason that's my platform is I'm a little shocking, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. I really think that in order to stand out and reach our potential, we have to be jolted sometimes. So that sense of shocking. So these are the elements, and you're going to notice they all follow the letters of the word shock. So the first one is, how are you going to stand out? When you want to reach your full potential, how are you going to stand out against competition, against others, against your own mindset? So I said, I'm kind of shocking. It's a little bit about me. I have very, very colorful hair. I have very fun shoes. These are things that make me stand out. But I don't do them just to stand out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some examples of standing out. I knew it was important for me. I normally speak on leadership, sales, and customer experiences, and helping people to reach their true professional potential. Because I want them to work hard on their career goals or their business goals as they would on any other aspect of their life. But there's a lot of people out there in this world, and how are we going to stand out in a way that also is true to our own identity, that really says something about who we are and the value that we bring? So yes, this is part of the shtick, but I do it for another reason, and that is whenever I go to conferences, people will, not even when I go to conferences, no matter where I go, this takes down barriers. People want to say, hey, I like your hair. Hey, I like your shoes. And so we just talked about the connections that we make and looking at each other in the eyes and how do we really make a connection. If I'm going to stand out, you have to see me. And you have to want to interact with me. And that's on a personal standpoint. But I also said, how do I want my message to be viewed and heard by the people that might want to hire me as a speaker, read my book, come to me for training, all those elements? How am I going to stand out? I have made some really strategic moves working off the platform of LinkedIn. So that's why I really want to be an Instagram sensation so badly. So badly. I don't know why. And I'm looking at these 72,000 followers and I'm like, oh, I can't stand out there yet. Because there's a lot of work, and I put my standing out in another platform. So I have about 15,000 connections on LinkedIn. But I stand out by doing this. Almost every day, Monday through Friday, I start with my blog on LinkedIn. And I do it as a post because a LinkedIn post has a maximum of 1,300 characters. So you have to tell a compelling story in a short amount of time. And another way that I stand out is I only write about positive things. Only. I only write about positive experiences in leadership, sales, or customer experiences, or lessons that I'm trying to teach, and I only have positive. And I had somebody once make a comment, as we're talking about all the glorious things that can happen to you when something goes viral, or some people just actually comment. And I had somebody say, I'm kind of sick of how happy you are all the time. Like, you're always happy. Like, you can't have only positive experiences. I said, absolutely not. I've had some horrible experiences. But this is my belief. I believe that you praise goodness in public and you help people by your feedback in private. Because when I praise in public, if you waited on me last night, let's say you were my server somewhere, and I had a great experience, and I positively talk about you, and I name you, and I name your restaurant, what happens to you? How does that make you feel? You feel seen. You feel heard. You feel valued. So all those elements that I find in my mix, these are the things that to me make me stand out. And over the last 2.5 years since I walked away from corporate America, I have found that this is the platform that has built me my following, and it has built my business, and has brought opportunities to me that I would have never had. But I stand out purposely. So whatever you're doing, I want you to take some time and think about, how can I stand out? Whether it's to get that promotion, whether it's to build your business, it's increase your downline. I know we had a lot of some fun jokes today about network marketing. I've done that many, many times myself. You stand out in a world where everybody else wants to achieve as well. So we're going to go on to the H. Because then as you think about this, okay, I'm going to stand out. Now I'm going to do it because I'm going to write my book. I'm going to have a blog. I'm going to do interviews with people. I'm going to go to education classes to boost my opportunity to get promoted, whatever it is. The next level, after you know what you want and how to stand out, is to hone your skills. So the H stands for hone. Hone your skills. We heard from many different sources today that we have to be lifelong learners, have to be passionate enough to go into every situation and say, what can I learn from this? What am I going to take from this? And by the way, how many of you have ever gone to a conference like this or any others and filled your notebooks with lots of great ideas, like Crystal said, and then you went home and you put that on the shelf and you said, that was so great, but everything that I missed while I was gone gets my attention. And all those things go to waste over time. We can't let that happen. We have to capture every opportunity to hone our skills and develop ourselves further. Because as we do that, we become ingrained in always looking for the next thing that's going to help us to achieve that potential. We're not just going to wait for it to happen, because now we have to go out and seek it. So if we move a little farther, this is one where I really, really love to spend time on. You have to operate today from this moment on as if you're already where you want to be. I do not mean fake it till you make it. I hate that statement because it means that it has the connotation of not being authentic. But if you want to be Oprah, wouldn't you want to know what time Oprah gets up every day? What Oprah eats for breakfast? What she does right after breakfast? What time she has meetings? How she organizes her day? So if that's how you want to be, then we want to look at the people who've already achieved some of those things. Look to them, talk to them, ask them, learn from them. Pull any secret that they're willing to give you. And as you do that, you start to say, well, if the person that I admire most gets up at 6 a.m. every day, or 5 a.m., I can't remember who said gets up at 5 a.m. Oh, I was like, I would love to do that. I think about it every day when 5 a.m. comes around, and then I go back to sleep. And I want to do that, so I don't quite operate that way. But if you snooze, you lose. Well, then that is so true. But I like the snooze part too. But if you operate that way and you start to find the pieces of it that make sense and you start to operate them, you start then to live what you're already trying to achieve. So you see the parallel there now? Now we have this sense of, okay, I see how other people are doing it. I'm going to ingrain those elements into my life today, which means now you're already achieving a higher potential than you had before because you were living it. So if we go to the C, we're going to cultivate people and opportunities that are going to help us along the way. Cultivate people and opportunities that are going to help you along the way. So I made a joke when I started up here, and I said, I really want more Instagram followers. When you have the opportunity, when you are in front of, with, networking with, interacting with, partnering with people that can help with opportunities to get you where you want, ask them. Ask them. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And people, especially women, we have this tendency to say, I don't want to ask. I don't want to bother them. Well, I'm telling you right now, I really want you all to follow me on Instagram. I'm not that exciting. I mostly put up pictures of my nails and my shoes. Every once in a while, I have a little spot with Robin Roberts on Good Morning America. So, see, shameless plug. You know? Shameless. You'll all want to follow me now. Oh, yes, I've got one. I'm getting better every day. But when you have these opportunities and you're sitting and you're talking with people, think about this question. What can I do to help you? When you are sitting with someone that you are interacting with, maybe you're just talking, you're networking, you're somebody you're sitting next to on the plane going home, and you say, what do you do, and what do you do, and you're yapping, what would it hurt to say, is there any way I can help you be more successful? Any way I can help you in your business? What can I do for you? Because the hope is maybe they might ask the same thing back. But even if they didn't, you are now operating that way, and you are cultivating still connections where people will value the fact that you want to help them. But when you cultivate this, when you look at every opportunity and say, not just an opportunity to sell. You know, if you walk into a room like this and say, I see all my opportunities, and you're all going to buy all my stuff, well, that might be one solution. But if you say, I'm in a room filled with women, men, whatever, but in this case, primarily women that came here, all women that came here. I'm sorry, gentlemen, we're going to just put headsets on you and we'll talk around you. But you came in this room with all these women who want to make their lives stronger, better, richer. I'd like to say easier and less complicated, but that's never going to happen. But look at this and say, in this room, there is at least one person who can help me. And there is at least one person in this room that I can help. Ask the question. And when you do, be forthright. I've got to tell you, I really need some help understanding my business plan. I really need some help figuring out how do I start writing this book that I know is in me and I haven't gotten it out yet. How do I finish the damn book? By the way, my second book is coming out in September, and I'm supposed to have the finished manuscript to my publisher on Monday. Just a little bit left. I'm going to be writing all day. But as you cultivate these opportunities in these people, look at them as richness that you can really help to keep you on track as well as give you the next step. And the final one in this part of the process is know. Know your worth and know your value. Know your worth and know your value. Because the more you know your worth and value, the easier it is to cultivate those people and opportunities to ask, to operate as if you're already there, and to figure out how you stand out and be proud of how you stand out and how you stand differently. As we do this together, then we are richer. But here's the key. After you know all these things, you have to have a plan. I think we've found some ways to have planners that will help you. So definitely some opportunities with there. So you have to have the plan. But the last key here of the piece of the puzzle is that it's all well and good that we're in this room and we're having kumbaya, we're hugging each other, we're all going to feel great, we're all going to walk out of here and go, we're rock stars. I've got a plan, put it in the book. You need someone to hold you accountable. Someone who you trust. I would advise it not be your spouse. And let me tell you why. Because as you are trying to achieve things, the accountability partner is someone you have to be honest with, and they have to be honest with you. And I don't always like to be that honest with my spouse, to be able to say, look, I know, I didn't tell him that I have to have the manuscript to the publisher on Monday. He thinks it's still in a couple weeks. I'm like, he doesn't need to know everything. I don't lie, I just don't always tell all the information, right? But the accountability partner has to be that person that you trust, that you value, who can tell you truths and show you that other side of yourself that you don't always want to look at. I always say I travel with a mirror, always, it's my hand. And that way, sometimes I have to hold it up to myself and say, oh, Michael, not a good idea. Nope. But my accountability partner is someone who tells me a truth in a way that when I call her, I know exactly what she's going to say. I know exactly the tone she's going to give it to me, and I ask for it anyway. It's like the person that you agree to go to the gym with because you know that they'll scream at you and make fun of you if you don't go, which is why I missed 3 of my boxing classes last week and she was on vacation. I'd rather make it her fault than mine. But the accountability partner is that one that you say, look, here's the plan, here's all the things I was going to do, and I got to be honest, I didn't do it. Or that you say, here's the things that I want to do, and this is the plan I have, and what do you think? And if they say it sucks, that you have to say, thank you for telling me, can you help me to figure out where I'm off? And as we work through that process, then we start to get traction to work towards our potential. Because I'll tell you what, if we don't do things differently today, tomorrow will just be the same. We know that. But in order to get going, let's figure out, how do we stand out? How do I stand out? Is what I'm trying to achieve going to make me stand out? What skills do I need to hone because I need to go get them? I need to learn how to do a budgeting class. I need to learn how to do a business plan. I need to learn how to get funding for my business. Doesn't matter. Figure it out what you need and then go after it. How do I operate? as if I'm already there, who do I need to look to give me that information? Who do I need to cultivate, and what kind of opportunities are going to put me in those places? And how do I know? Do I know my value? Do I know my worth enough to make this happen? Because if I do, I will make that plan. And if I do, I will find that accountability partner. So I know I have just a couple more minutes. Just a couple shameless plugs that I'm going to put in for myself right now. Because other than my beautiful logo that I keep throwing in there. So I have a book out. I probably should put these slides differently, but I have a book out called Tell Me More. And it's called Tell Me More, How to Ask the Right Questions and Get the Most Out of Your Employees. And it's a leadership book written like a story. It's very easy. I call it an airplane book. And in just a minute, I'm going to give you some details on that, that you can download it for free until midnight tonight on Kindle. But if you also text the words Jane Smith, you'll get an excerpt of book number 2 that will be out in September, once I get my manuscript in. Can you go one more slide for me? So here's the Tell Me More on Kindle free today. And so this room is filled with people who want to be here for themselves. We all want to be here for ourselves, but we also heard messages, and I know we all believe, the more we're there for each other, the more that we will build together and help each other. Just lastly, if you want to find me, there's all the things that you can find me. I'm sure you can read all that. It's very tiny. But more than anything else, I love to help people see what they can achieve and be that voice that they know is really there in their own heads. And just having the ability to look at someone and say, I hear you. I know what's holding you back. I know you just need to talk through it. I know you're scared. I don't need to judge you. I won't ever judge you. But know that anything you want to accomplish is available to every single one of us. It's whether or not we take the steps to make that happen. It has been such a pleasure being a part of this today. I have loved it more than I could possibly imagine. And I feel very honored to be a part of this day with you all. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I was out of the room, and I know Leanne introduced you, but I want to say that introduction that I have plans. That I know all of you took time to make sure you look good, that your hair looks